Cookie Mama World Kitchen.
This is the second iteration of the Cookie Mama series for the Wii, and while it has a graphical upgrade, I think the game itself isn't as good as the first one. But that's not really saying much. Cookie Mama is a game where you cook dishes for fun or for friends. As simple as I make it sound, that's about all you do. You put ingredients together and mix them to create a meal. The game is basically one mini game after another. Each mini game would represent a step that you would have to do to bake and create the recipe that you've chosen. At the end of each mini game, Mama will tell you how you did compared to her.
Wow, even better than Mama.
Then she'll give you a score after you finish the recipe to tell you how the dish is. Since the last game was basically a port of the DS version, it really didn't look very good. This time the game is 3D modeled, and it has fun animations for you to watch. In that retrospect, the game is definitely an improvement. However, the controls are where things take a dive. While the controls of the original Cookie Mama game weren't terrible, they were way too loose. This game seems to have tightened them up, but they've overcomplicated the controls as well. When you're chopping, peeling, grinding, mashing, the controls are dead on. To do those actions, you have to simulate doing them in real life. For example, when you're chopping onions, you hold the Wiimote out towards the TV and move the Wiimote up and down like you're making quick cutting motions, and it will respond accordingly on the screen. And while all the simple moves are done well, when they have you do more complex controls, it becomes more of a problem. Let's start with selecting ingredients. You have to motion your Wiimote into different positions to move the cursor to the ingredient you want to use. You'll find it completely frustrating since it's constantly moving the cursor to the wrong ingredient, no matter how careful you are to move it correctly. The publishers have seemed to have forgotten that the Wii has a perfect pointing device built in. There is no need to have a convoluted motion-controlled ingredient choice system. What's even more strange is that they used the Wiimote's pointing function in the first game to choose ingredients, so why not in this one? They also overcomplicate something as simple as breaking an egg. This time they use a bar with an arrow going up and down, and you have to jerk the Wiimote at the right time to get the right effect. This is another example where they did it right in the first game and then screwed it up in the second. In the first game they have you motion cracking an egg over a bowl. You had to make sure you weren't hitting it too hard or too soft. And while it didn't work perfectly every time, most of the time it did the job right. Also, sometimes they make you play mini games inside of mini games. This happens when you're about to fail one of the ingredient mini-games, usually by dropping the item on the floor and you have to stop it. Most of the time they involve you motioning your Wiimote in the direction they ask you, or pressing the A button at the right time. And while it is cute the first few times you play them, after a while they do get annoying. You can also invite a friend over for dinner, and if you can complete a dish without screwing it up, you'll unlock new friends and recipes to play with. You can also go head-to-head with one of these friends in a minigame or recipe showdown. They let you play against another player or a computer to see who can make the most in the time period. It would have been nice if we had the ability to create our own dishes using the ingredients we've already unlocked. But alas, once again, that option is missing. Annoyingly, there still is no Nintendo Wi-Fi support, so you can't download any new recipes or battle any other players other than the minigames or recipe showdowns. Cookie Mama World Kitchen feels like one step forward and two steps back. The publisher had over a year to get this new game ready, and instead of improving on the controls from last time, they decided to make them even more unintuitive. And while about 60% of the controls were working well, the other 40% were so badly screwed up it made the rest of the game frustrating to play. If you're already a big fan of the Cookie Mama series, I only suggest you rent this game. Anybody else, you should probably skip it.